My name is John Demos. I'm the author of Getting Started with EEG Neurofeedback. Neurofeedback is an exciting therapy that will provide you and your clinic with an edge. It uses modern technology to create state of the art brainwave training. What are brainwaves? Brainwaves are the electrical activity of neurons that can be detected with EEG amplifiers. They cycle up and they cycle down. Fortunately, they always cycle into healthy patterns. And when they do cycle into a healthy pattern, that can be capitalized by neurofeedback training. It can be reinforced so it stays longer. Neurofeedback training provides feedback in the form of tones and graphics when brainwaves move into a healthy pattern. Neurofeedback is computer-driven learning that can be retained by the trainee once training has been completed. Are you looking for peer-reviewed studies? Check out my website. There is the link, and I have articles that you can read to see about the efficacy of neurofeedback training. There are 4 ways that neurofeedback can provide your clinic with an edge. Number 1, you can see your client's symptoms reflected on a brain map before treatment begins. Number 2, you can develop treatment plans that are guided by those brain maps, plus standard clinical evaluation forms. Number 3, you can offer your clients relief without the use of psychiatric medications. And number 4, you can increase your practice size. You can build your practice because neurofeedback provides relief for many different symptoms and many issues that you may have never treated in the past. Consider these brain maps. In our first brain map, we're seeing theta amplitude in the front of the head. And it could reflect a number of disorders, including poor motivation, disorganization, ADHD, and depression. And now we have another brain map that shows high beta along the midline of the brain or the cingulate gyrus. And that often reflects perfectionism, obsessions, anxiety, and worry. In our third map, this one reflects depression. This is one of several different configurations that could reflect depression. But since we know that our client is depressed, we've evaluated them, we know exactly where the problem is coming from on the brain. In our fourth example, we're seeing elevated beta right here along the sensory motor cortex. And that, of course, would reflect anxiety, insomnia, poor fine motor skills. Yes, we can help our clients to sleep better if we train along the sensory motor cortex. Getting back to our client with depression, X marks the spot. That's where we would put our sensor to do neurofeedback training. We would inhibit theta. And as the amplitude of theta goes down, so do our client symptoms. There's no guesswork. In the depressed client that was evaluated with that brain map, we started out with the Beck Depressive Inventory score of 25, and after 10 sessions, it went down to just 8. Lower Beck Depressive Inventory scores are an indication of improvement. The client really felt the difference, and clinicians can see the rationale behind the intervention. Again, there is no guesswork in neurofeedback, state-of-the-art training. Another advantage to neurofeedback is there's the possibility that clients can reduce or eliminate their psychiatric medication. Uh, what can be done? Well, the before BDI and the after 10 session BDI, the 2 copies could be brought to the prescribing physician with the goal of medication reduction or titration. Of course, not all clients become medication free, but many do. And in today's health conscious world, those who are looking for an alternative treatment are looking to end their reliance on medication. Neurofeedback may just be the answer they're looking for. And of course, the fourth reason is practice building. Taking up neurofeedback changed my practice. I found myself treating clients with a wide variety of symptoms that were not addressed by talk therapy, including migraines, attention deficit disorder, and Asperger's disorder. I was also able to help my trauma survivors in new and better ways. I was helping them with talk therapy, but they found real relief from their egregious symptoms with neurofeedback training. More and different clients were now seeking my services. My practice could grow. My specialty is getting professionals started with neurofeedback. My book was published by W. Norton in 2019. And I will tell you the first step in getting started is education. I recommend and offer BCIA accredited training. Check out this certifying organization at www.bcia.org. You will find my name and company listed as an accredited workshop provider. And my workshops are free when equipment is purchased before the workshop or right after the workshop is completed. No other accredited organization has that offer. And not only would the workshop be free, which is worth $1,100, but your staff members can attend, no matter how many there are, for just $100 each. Everyone during this workshop receives personal attention. I meet with my clients individually when I do live webcast training. And let's talk about how I do that in the next slides. In the next slide, it explains that my live webcasts are a 4-day webcast, 4 full Fridays. That means that I meet with all of my students individually in between Fridays to make sure that their learning goals are being met. If they're trying to learn how to do a brain map or an assessment, or they're trying to train, I'm there helping them, holding their hand. One-on-one help is just what is needed when you get started with something like neurofeedback. And of course, when you do 4-day live webcast training, there's no travel expenses, no hotels to sleep in, no hotel food. You sleep in your own bed. You don't have to leave your family alone for a week. You don't have to abandon your practice for a week. You can be there for the first 4 days, and you won't get overwhelmed because you will have time to reflect on the curriculum and practice what was discussed in class in between the Fridays and discuss it with your instructor. Yes, you'll be needing equipment, and I'm going to give 2 choices. Choice number 1 is training and assessing with dry sensors with 10-channel dry sensors. With the advantage of dry sensors is they can be mounted on the head quickly and no gels are needed. Here's an example of a 10-channel dry sensor, the Freedom 10R. You can put this on your client's head, and it could be an older child, likely a teenager or an adult, and they can begin training just in minutes. And the cleanup is easy, and going from client to client is easy. No messy gels to deal with. Or if you want a full brain map, you can get a 19-channel amplifier, the Discovery. And I use the Discovery all the time to do complete brain maps so that it's not just 10 locations, but it's all 19. I will find the site on the brain that best reflects my client's symptoms. So I also recommend 19-channel amplifiers. Brain-based interventions. Becoming a neurofeedback provider means brain imaging with 2D brain maps and 3D brain maps that look like fMRI recordings. I didn't show them in this video. The advantage of brain-based interventions is you match symptoms with brain maps and brain regions. And this causes symptoms to ameliorate as we train those areas of the brain that are outside normal limits statistically. It helps us to build our practice. It helps us to treat more clients with different issues. And we can train more than one client at a time using non-licensed technicians in our clinic. Well, what's next? If you are a professional healthcare provider, please contact me and let's discuss your options and the best way to get started with neurofeedback training. Contact me, John Demos. There is my email address, eegvermont@gmail.com, or call me on the phone at 603-499-8363. Let's get started with neurofeedback and bring state-of-the-art training to our clinic and get the clinical edge and help more people than ever before.